Hello students, how are you? Welcome to our lesson today. I am your teacher, Mr. Juma Nyamawi of Wa Girls High School. And in this lesson, we shall learn about mechanism of gaseous exchange in insects. But before we discuss all that, let us have a look at this short video. Good. So what have you learned in this lesson, in this video? Probably you will say that you have learned how, or you have seen a grasshopper breathing. Okay. But how do insects get oxygen? And they do not have lungs. Have you ever wondered that? Have you ever wondered about that? Okay, insects usually extract oxygen from air because they have got a respiratory surface called the tracheal system. Now, the respiratory system in insects, I've said, is called the tracheal system. This tracheal system is composed of several features. If you look at this particular insect, probably that is an insect, maybe a housefly, you're able to see the respiratory system of an insect. It is composed of three main features. To the outside, we have the spiracles. Okay? They open into some air tubes which are known as the tracheae. If it's one, it's trachea. Okay? Then the tracheae subdivide further into finer tubes which are called the tracheoles. These tracheoles supply oxygen directly into the tissues of the insect and remove carbon dioxide from the tissues. So these are the components of the tracheal system. The tracheal system is composed of the spiracles, the tracheae, and the tracheoles. Usually insects have got several spiracles on the abdomen and thorax. So we have abdominal spiracles and thoracic spiracles. These spiracles are very, very important because they allow air to get into and out of the insect through the tracheal system. Now, what are the spiracles? Spiracles are the tiny pores on the abdomen and the thorax that open into the tracheae of the insect. They are usually closed and opened by some valves. You're able to see some valves here. So they are opened and closed by some valves. They are usually surrounded by hair, which traps dust particles from the air. So they usually have got some hair which trap any dust particle from the air, preventing it from getting into the tracheal system. Now, what about the trachea? The trachea, as you can see here, from the spiracle, the next tube is the trachea or trachea. The trachea forms branches, one on each side of the body, and they are strengthened. So the trachea actually is this one. They are usually strengthened by chitinous ring. This is ring made up of chitin or chitin. The rings of chitin, as you are able to see here, prevent this trachea from collapsing. It prevents the trachea from collapsing. Okay? Then the trachea finally will end into some finer tubes which are called tracheoles. Tracheoles branch from the trachea. They are site for gaseous exchange. So gaseous exchange occurs at the tracheoles. So how are tracheoles adapted for gaseous exchange? One, they are thin-walled to reduce the distance traveled by the respiratory gases. And number two, they are moist. They are moist to dissolve the respiratory gases before they pass or before they diffuse into the tissues. Last but not least, they do not have chitin. This ensures that the gases can easily diffuse, hence or because of the distance. They are thin. Okay? So these are the various structures of the tracheal system of insects. Are you able to see it here? Yeah. Now, the question is, how do insects breathe? So we shall go back to the video again. We look at it and then we understand how the insects breathe in and out. Okay. So we shall pause. We shall pause once we want to explain so that you understand better. Okay? So on the sides of the insect, I think you're able to see some pores. These small pores are called the spiracles. This is where air moves into and out of the insect through the spiracles. Some are found on the abdomen, while others are found on the thorax. Okay. Good. So in this particular part, you are able to see oxygen moving into the spiracles. Let us keenly observe that. Good. So, I hope you have observed that if you look keenly, you have seen that the abdomen of the insect contracts and relaxes. Contracts and relax. Okay? This facilitates gaseous exchange or ventilation, that is taking in air and giving it out. Okay? So how does an insect inhale and exhale? So how does it breathe in and out? That is the question we want to answer. Now, during inhalation or inspiration, that is breathing in, usually the abdomen of the insect, the muscles of the abdomen of the insect relax, hence increasing the volume of the abdomen. When the volume of the abdomen increases, the pressure in the tracheal system of the insect reduces. Therefore, air moves into the insect through the spiracles of the thorax. That is now inspiration. I will repeat. Now I will repeat using this diagram. I have said here that during inspiration, the abdominal muscles of the insect, relax, hence increase in volume of the abdomen. The abdomen increases in volume. So when the volume of the abdomen increases, the pressure inside this tracheal system will reduce. Therefore, the valves of the thoracic spiracles open. Hence, air moves into these spiracles. Hence, air moves into these spiracles. Is it clear? What about exhalation? So, exhalation is brought about by decrease in volume of the abdomen. That is, the abdominal muscles contract. If they contract, the pressure increases while volume decreases. So when pressure increases, it forces air to be exhaled or to be expelled through the spiracles of the abdomen. So air will be expelled through the spiracles of the abdomen. So during breathing out, we have said that the muscles of the abdomen contract, pressure increases. So if pressure increases, it forces air which is in the tracheal system to come out through the spiracles. Okay? Now, how does gaseous exchange occur? So when air is inhaled, it travels through the spiracles to the trachea, to the tracheoles. Upon reaching the tracheoles, oxygen will be highly concentrated in the tracheoles than the tissue cells. Hence, oxygen moves into the tissue cells by diffusion. Similarly, carbon dioxide is highly concentrated in the tissue cells. Therefore, it diffuses into the tracheoles and leaves the body through the tracheae into the atmosphere via the spiracles. Have you understood? Now let us have a quick summary of what we have learned. So we have said that during inhalation, abdominal muscles relax, pressure in the abdomen reduces compared to the atmospheric pressure. Thoracic spiracles open, air enters in the thoracic spiracles, then trachea, then into the tracheoles. Then what happens during gaseous exchange? Oxygen being highly concentrated in the air in the tracheoles dissolves into the atmosphere in the tracheoles, then diffuses into the tissues. Carbon dioxide, on the other hand, being highly concentrated in the tissue cells, diffuses out of the tissues into the tracheoles. What about expiration, that is exhalation? Abdominal muscles contract,